14th October 1914. Translation by Sri Aurobindo. Mother Divine, Thou art with us every day. Thou givest me the assurance, and closely united in an identity that grows more and more total, more and more constant, we turn to the Lord of the universe and to that which is beyond in a great aspiration towards the new light. All the earth is in our arms like a sick child who must be cured and for whom one has a special affection because of his very weakness. Cradled on the immensity of the eternal becomings, ourselves those becomings, we contemplate, hushed and glad, the eternity of the immobile silence, where all is realized in the perfect consciousness and immutable existence, miraculous gate of all the unknown that is beyond. Then is the veil torn, the inexpressible glory uncovered, and suffused with the ineffable splendor, we turn back towards the world to bring it the glad tidings. Lord, Thou hast given me the happiness infinite. What being, what circumstance can have the power to take it away from me? 16th October 1914. It is Thy will that I should be like a channel, always open, always wider, through which Thy forces may pour themselves in abundance on the world. O Lord, let Thy will be done. Am I not Thy will, and Thy consciousness in a felicity supreme? The being grows immeasurably in largeness and becomes vast like the universe. October 17, 1914. O Mother Divine, the obstacles shall be overcome, the enemies appeased. Thou shalt dominate the whole earth with Thy sovereign love, and every consciousness shall be illumined with Thy serenity. This is the promise. October 23rd, 1914. O Lord, the entire being is ready, and it calls Thee to take possession of what is Thine. Of what service can be the instrument if the Master will not use it? And whatever be the mode of manifestation, it shall be well from the most humble, most obscure, most material, most outwardly limited, to the vastest, most brilliant, most powerful, most intellectual. The entire being is ready and waits in a passive silence until it is Thy will to manifest. October 25th, 1914. Translation by Sri Aurobindo. My aspiration to Thee, O Lord, has taken the form of a beautiful rose, harmonious, full in bloom, rich in fragrance. I stretch it out to Thee with both arms in a gesture of offering, and I ask of Thee. If my understanding is limited, widen it. If my knowledge is obscure, enlighten it. If my heart is empty of ardor, set it aflame. If my love is insignificant, make it intense. If my feelings are ignorant and egoistic, give them the full consciousness in the truth. And the I, which demands this of Thee, O Lord, is not a little personality lost amidst thousands of others. It is the whole earth that aspires to Thee in a movement full of fervor. In the perfect silence of my contemplation, all widens to infinity, and in the perfect peace of that silence, Thou appearest in the resplendent glory of Thy light. 3rd November 1914. For quite a long time, Lord, my pen had fallen silent. Yet hast Thou given me hours of unforgettable illumination, hours in which the union between the most divine consciousness and the most material grew perfect, hours when the identification of the individual being with the Universal Mother and of the Universal Mother with Thee was so complete that the individual consciousness could perceive simultaneously its own existence, the life of the entire universe, and Thy eternity beyond all change. Beatitude was at its height in an ineffable and infinite peace, the consciousness luminous and immeasurable, complex and yet one, existence all-powerful, master of death. And this is no longer a fleeting state, attained after a long concentration, vanishing as soon as it is born. It is a state that can last long hours full of eternity, hours at once instantaneous and interminable, a state brought about at will, that is to say, one which is permanent, one with which the most external consciousness comes into contact as soon as any occasion allows it, as soon as it is no longer occupied with a definite intellectual or physical task. In all work, constantly, there is the perception of Thy invariable presence in Thy dual form of non-being and being, but as though behind a fine veil woven by the indispensable concentration upon the work that is done, while in the hours of solitude the being is immediately enveloped by a marvelously powerful atmosphere, limpid, calm, divine. it lies merged within it, and then the life of splendor begins again in all its amplitude, all its complexity, all its sublimity. The physical body is glorified, supple, vigorous, energetic. The mind is superbly active in its calm lucidity, guiding and transmitting the forces of thy divine will. And all the being exults in an endless beatitude, a boundless love, a sovereign power, a perfect knowledge, an infinite consciousness. It is thyself, and thou alone who livest, even in the least atom of the body substance itself. Thus, the solid foundations of thy terrestrial work are prepared. The substructure of the immense edifice built. In every corner of the world, one of thy divine stones is laid by the power of conscious and formative thought. And in the hour of realizations, the earth, thus prepared, will be ready to receive the sublime temple of thy new and more complete manifestation. 8th November 1914. Translation by Sri Aurobindo. For the plenitude of thy light, we invoke thee, O Lord. Awaken in us the power to express thee. All is mute in the being as in a desert crypt, but in the heart of the shadow, in the bosom of the silence, burns the lamp that can never be extinguished, the fire of an ardent aspiration to know thee and totally to live thee. The nights follow the days, new dawns unweariedly succeed to past dawns, but always there mounts the scented flame that no storm wind can force to vacillate. Higher it climbs, and one day attains the vault still closed, the last obstacle opposing our union. And so pure, so erect, so proud is the flame that suddenly the obstacle is dissolved. Then thou appearest in all thy splendor, in the dazzling force of thy infinite glory. At thy contact, the flame changes into a column of light that chases the shadows away forever. And the word leaps forth, a supreme revelation.